I find it rather convenient that if your opinion aligns with mine, it's normal, but if you disagree, I'm psychotic. That's a bit extreme, don't you think?
Welcome to Recycle Bin.
No.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Episode 19. I'm Bern. You're Jern.
Yes.
I'm doing a new fancy intro this
Okay.
week. So here's what you can expect.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
We're doing an iPhone tier list. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to go through all the iPhones.
Ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not that many.
All right.
And figure out the best and the worst. We're going to do that. We got voicemails from you, the viewer. You can give us a call at 404-919-5530. You can do that now. You're not going to make it in now, but
Yeah.
next week.
Hurry up and call in, and maybe you'll make it by the end of the episode.
And we'll get the thrilling conclusion to Jern's Code Red voicemails, potentially.
Okay.
From flat earthers here to convince you.
Okay. Well,
that they're right.
For context, previously on Recycle Bin, actually the last two episodes have been very space focused. I've been having a crisis, and our problems are so small and the universe is so big, and we're going to be crushed by that eventually. And I can't stop thinking about it. I think about space once an hour and freak out a little bit. This happens every day.
It just happens to land on when we record Recycle Bin.
Yeah, and for some reason, anytime we talk about space, we somehow stumble upon talking about flat earthers.
Weird how that works.
And in the last episode, I challenged any flat earther to call in. They get the floor for a few minutes as opposed to like a 30-second voicemail. And they can use that time to convince me live in real time here on the show.
In real time. Alongside that, we have, drum roll please, a hat.
Oh, a hat. Yes, we do have a hat. Okay, so I've been wearing this hat for,
forever.
Like 3 years.
Yeah.
And every time I wear it, I think I've never worn it on the show, but I've worn it on Recycle Bin and on Genius Bar. And every time I do that, you guys ask where you can get the hat. It was never made for you. It was only made for me.
It was a one of one special hat for Jern.
I just wanted it. Yeah. I didn't, I never assumed that like you guys want merch with our logo on it, so we don't sell it.
Yeah.
However, for a limited time at store.frontpagetech.com, you can buy this exact hat.
Wow.
Well, not this one. This is mine, but the exact thing. Now, this hat is special.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's not just a hat that we put a logo on. Since I was a kid, have had a favorite brand of hat.
Yeah, well, it is a hat that we put a logo on, but it's also
a flex fit hat. Which means none of the like weird like snappy buttons.
Yeah.
There's like medium, large, and then you just pick. Or it's like small, medium, large, extra large. And it just stretches. It's the best. There's no like little hole on the back for your hair to stick out of. It doesn't look gross and messy.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. And
it does.
It has an embroidered FPT logo on it, so it lasts forever. I've had this for 3 years.
Yeah. And just to be clear, you're not even like selling the hat right now. You're just explaining why you love it. Because this is a you thing.
Yeah, I made it for me. Yeah.
This is your hat. Yeah.
Yes, and I guess we could have like, we could be, because people keep asking about where to buy the hat. They want to buy the hat. I could have just put it on a normal shitty hat and printed it on there. But if you guys want my exact hat that I had made for me, you can buy it.
That's pretty freaking cool.
For a limited time.
Yeah.
Run, don't walk.
It
works on TikTok
computer.
Shop.
It does. You're right.
Yeah, so I figured it would work here.
That circles it all around.
It comes with a free order of Shilajit. I'm just kidding. It does not.
Speaking of, we're doing that. Not today, but we are going to do a Shilajit taste test.
A taste test?
And thanks to a recommendation from a viewer, we'll get into later, we have another activity planned for Recycle Bin.
Okay.
It'll be a fun time.
Not saying yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But we'll get into it.
Yeah, we talked about Shilajit last episode because I saw it on TikTok, but I feel like if we're going to get it to try, we also have to do what they do. Like, try it for 30 days, both of us, and at the end of the 30 days, reveal if we've had any life changes, if our stress, if our cortisol levels are lower, if our peenies are harder, the thing that Shilajit claims to do.
How long have we been going? You mentioned peenies. We're like 5 minutes in, right into peenie.
I mean...
I guess we're safe
I didn't just randomly bring it up. Shilajit says it says when you stir it in the water, it says for your penis.
All right. Well, I guess we'll try it initially on Recycle Bin, and then we'll just live with that for a whole fucking month. We'll do a weekly check-in.
Okay.
How about that?
That sounds good.
Great.
I love it.
I'm
Shilajit.
What?
I'm trying to think of a segment name for Shilajit.
You just went Shilajit.
Okay.
Shilajit, is it legit?
Yes. Okay, I like it.
Great.
We need
okay.
like a bumper with music.
That'll be fantastic.
Okay. What are we doing? You're in charge.
We're going to do an iPhone tier list.
We're starting with that.
Yeah, that's how we're starting the show.
Okay.
I thought it'd be fun. I mean, listen, the recycle bin has been crazy. We've been talking about fucking space and flat Earth and Shilajit.
You're
and all
trying to
sorts of
pull me
things.
away, and it's not going to work. I will get to space.
I know. Don't worry. I know we will. But I mean, it is recycle bin. There's tech shit all over the logo. You can see it like here. There's tech stuff. Mm-hmm. Here, there's tech stuff. There's a light bulb. That's techie. So
wow. Yeah. Like an earbud.
Exactly.
A game controller, monitor, Wi-Fi, location. Like it's
right.
Wow, so techie.
Yeah. So I just thought it'd be fun. I like tier lists too. I think they're really fun to do. I just do them in my spare time sometimes.
Okay.
Do you know what a tier list is?
Yeah, you go.
Well, let me explain it to you and the audience who doesn't know. What you're gonna see.
Okay.
I'm gonna like start the recording here soon. What you're gonna see is in ranking from best to worst, we got S, A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
Now S is above A. This has been a thing in like a lot of like Japanese video games and I think also the Japanese school system, like a grade. A is number 2 and S is like the best.
Super.
Yes, kind of like that. S is like
stupendous.
The perfect one.
Yeah, it's stupendous.
It's a level above A, so A plus if you will. So we're going to be taking all of the iPhones and ranking them in our opinion.
Okay.
Now the only ones that aren't on here, because I didn't make this tier list, a gentleman did on the tiermaker.com website.
Okay.
iPhone 4S and iPhone SE 3rd gen are not on here.
Why is the iPhone 4S not on the list?
We can treat iPhone 4 and 4S together because the only difference is Siri. And the
fact that you could hold it however you wanted.
Well, right, but we're going to include that in there because nobody talks about iPhone 4 in a vacuum. That kind of has been superseded.
I'm slightly offended.
Well, iPhone 5 and 5S are also, like there's a fucking...
No, it's not the same at all.
Okay.
No, not at all. iPhone 5 was substantially better. It had a slate gray color that was like kind of deep Batman black.
You're right.
The next year
What
for
am I
iPhone
saying?
5S, it was too light gray. That color was gone.
Gotcha.
It was not the same.
Okay, well, we'll tell you what.
It was worse.
For the sake of this experiment, if you see an iPhone 4, it's a 4S.
Okay.
If you see an iPhone 5, that's a 5S.
What a beautiful phone. Okay, let's go.
I think they're probably separated. Anyway, that's how it's going to work. Let's get into it.
Okay. Okay, well.
Welcome to the tier list.
It turns out. Wait, is he really in the way?
No, fuck it. Leave him there.
Okay,
Vinny, you're
stays.
staying. Congratulations. You survive.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to do my best to zoom in because Jern has terrible eyes.
Okay.
All right. First iPhone up. Jern, what iPhone is this?
That's
Can
the
you
iPhone
tell?
11.
iPhone 11. Where are we putting it? What do you think? iPhone 11.
That is a solid...
You can go right in the middle.
That's a solid C.
It's a C tier immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This...
Do you remember the colors?
No, on iPhone 11?
Those
Not
were the
at all.
first kind of gross pastel colors
Oh, really?
that were not lovely.
I don't know if I was even participating in iPhone 11 at the time.
Well, this was a big year because after iPhone 10, basically what had happened was the iPhones were becoming more premium,
Oh,
so
you're
premium
okay.
that they launched eventually the iPhone XR.
Yeah.
And the iPhone XR was supposed to be like the iPhone SE, the budget model equivalent.
I see. Okay.
But the XR did so well that sneakingly and quietly, Apple just made that the default iPhone. Hence, iPhone 11. iPhone 11 looks and feels exactly like the XR.
So that was okay, I see. That was like a homogenization.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that it's like suddenly the main iPhone became not as premium,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Next up, I believe this is the iPhone 13.
That is the iPhone 11 Pro.
11? Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where we're at.
I
see.
shouldn't know these this fast.
I'm happy I have you.
Yeah.
They didn't put the text of the iPhone on the picture?
That's iPhone 13.
Look at you. Damn. Okay, so iPhone 11 Pro. What do you think? That's got to be above the normal 11, I would think, starting off at least.
Yeah, I'd say B.
B tier.
The color really does it too. The midnight green.
I remember. Was that the first time they did like a that type of color? Okay,
yeah.
I remember that. I remember that event.
Like
that
a
was
colored Pro model.
That was the first time they really leveraged like Pro stuff, right? like cameras? Like no? What am I thinking?
That was the iPhone 7 Pro.
Oh my god!
iPhone 7 Pro was the first phone to get, or the first iPhone, sorry, to get dual cameras.
Oh, I'm trying to remember back. I'm remembering how many iPhone events I have watched, and they're blending together.
Yeah.
I think I got that one confused when they first started showing people in a professional workspace, like a creative workspace, using iPhone as their main camera. I think that was more recent.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I got confused. What's this guy?
That's the iPhone 12.
iPhone 12.
Regular
great.
iPhone 12.
We're going in order, okay,
Yeah.
from this point.
iPhone 12 is a...
What do we think?
I want to...
Not D, I'm just moving it up.
It's another B tier.
B tier. Is it better than the 13 Pro, in your opinion?
I mean, that's tough because it's a different category. It's regular iPhone, not Pro.
This is the best of all time.
Okay, I would put 12 in front of the 11
13.
Pro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell you
Because
what.
that's when, like, this is 11, right?
Yeah.
So standard iPhone kind of meh. This is like, okay, they're getting closer to, it's not that far away from the Pro.
I see what you're saying.
It was a good iPhone.
Yeah.
And that also had iPhone 12 mini, which,
That,
rest in spaghetti, never forgetty.
You're right. Yeah. That was the last iPhone I had before I like jumped into the Pros.
You had an iPhone 12?
A 12 mini.
Oh.
Yeah. This is what,
yeah. Holy shit. Okay.
yeah.
Hang on. Did you like it?
I love that.
Were you a
phone.
mini guy?
I was a mini guy. I was really disappointed. Was it that year or the 13 year with the last mini? I can't remember.
12 was the only year with the mini.
Okay, then that was I was like waiting for a 13 mini, and that's when like
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
Did you, if you had the option, could you do a mini phone now? Would that be what you picked?
No. Honestly, having so just fucking dropped my phone. Having the base 16 has really it has shown me how little I care, but also weirdly how much I care.
Okay.
Like the rumor mill, right, is saying that the 17 base 17 is going to have 120 hertz refresh rate. I'm actually excited for that. Because my wife is using a 13 Pro.
Okay.
Got the sweet ProMotion.
That was the first one with the ProMotion display?
Yeah. And every once in a while, I'll use it, and I'll be like, oh, fuck, this is so nice. And it's like, when I'm just using the 16 base in a vacuum, I don't really care. But like in comparison, it's noticeable.
Will you search to see if I'm correct that the 13 Pro was the first 120 hertz iPhone?
I'm just going to search on my phone because I don't want to fuck with the screen recording. First ProMotion iPhone. Let's see. 13 Pro, you were right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is the iPhone 12.
Yeah, tell you what. Because I didn't realize, this is like, the way these are ordered is kind of strange. So let's pause with the modern day iPhones.
Okay.
And jump into the OG.
Okay, obviously S tier.
The first iPhone is S tier.
Yeah.
In your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay,
let me changed everything.
Grab it up.
Yeah.
Let me make sure they're not out of order or anything else. Okay, that's a 3GS, right? Or a 3G?
That looks like the original iPhone.
Which one? Okay.
What one did you just slide up there?
Hold, please.
They don't have names on them?
I know. It's very annoying. What the fuck? Get out of here. Okay, so, yeah.
Okay, that's the original iPhone 3GS on the left.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
I think. Let's Google. Dual tone, the gray black iPhone.
Right, we're
original.
looking like a decade back here.
I think that's the original one. Oh, damn, what a color scheme.
I know. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
So original.
Original.
S tier?
S tier.
Yeah, I mean, it has... Well, hold up. Is it S, though?
Without this phone, none of this list exists.
Well, how much is a legacy going to impact this?
You have to...
Between actual usability and quality improvements.
Well, you're not using it today. You have to think about the day that it came out. It was first of its kind.
Yeah.
Insanity. This was there was no phone like this one.
You're right. What am I saying? You're right.
Yeah, you can't go, well, would I use that over a 13 Pro?
Yeah.
Like,
we have to be picky and choosy for the S tier because I feel like there's going to be quite a few entries in there. And that's the cream of the crop.
I mean, do you want to, like, I feel like I'm leading.
No,
do you
no,
want to take one?
No, you're doing great. I appreciate your immediate knowledge on what each of these iPhones are.
Oh, yeah, and I'm just going by vibes.
Yeah. But I agree with you so far. I will say, if the 3G, right? Mm-hmm. The sequel, if you will, to the original iPhone, it was just a straight up improvement.
Yeah.
I feel like it would logically need to go in front.
I disagree.
Really?
Okay, you gotta
give me your hot take.
Yeah. You gotta think of the time. Like, the reason the original iPhone is going in there isn't because it was the best iPhone. It's there because it's the first iPhone, started it all compared to all the other phones. But at this stage, there are Androids starting to come out, and like, if it was completely up to me, 3GS would be in B tier.
You know what? I'm impressed with the depth at which you're thinking of this.
For someone that doesn't care about this stuff.
No, this is impressive. I thought I was gonna be more opinionated than you. I'm very happy. You know what?
Have I convinced you?
You have.
No, I said B tier.
No, I'm moving it down.
Okay.
Do you think? I mean, it's
so
we can get
all the way
into
on the left is best to worst.
Yes.
Okay.
We can get into a final ranking eventually. Mm-hmm. We'll double check. So tell you what, top of B for now, bottom of B.
Well, yeah. Now I'm second guessing if it's a B or a C.
Damn.
Let's keep it in.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can swap later, right?
Oh yeah.
If things get hairy. Okay.
Yeah. Next up, iPhone 4S. We'll kind of.
Okay, that to me.
I mean, I'm just sliding it up because it's definitely
that's an A tier for me.
A tier. Yeah. And are you including 4S as well in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like it's still iPhone, but the reason it gets A tier is because of like hardware design. That's an iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, not only did this phone influence other phones moving forward, it has also we've gone back to that.
Yeah.
That's how influential that phone is.
That's true.
iPhone 12 went right back to flat sides.
Mm-hmm. The chamfer and everything. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most satisfying devices to hold.
Yeah.
Next up.
As long as you're not holding it wrong.
Next up, we're going to go
iPhone 5.
Yeah, and then after that,
iPhone 5S.
Well, if you look to the left slightly.
5C.
Yeah, so we'll do 5 and then 5C.
Okay, so 5.
What do you think?
So 5 is A tier for me. You can disagree.
I was actually, in my opinion, I prefer...
Or I meant S tier.
S tier.
Sorry,
okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I prefer the 5 series to the 4 because, like, we joked about it when it happened that it's just longer. But that matters. That we got to that tasty aspect ratio.
Yeah, like to me, that was everything the iPhone should have been personified. Like that was everything from the iPhone 4 that was good. That was just such a comfy phone. It was taller, but Steve made sure you could still use it with one hand.
Yep.
Like that was especially the slate gray, dude. What an incredible phone.
Yeah, there's kind of
had a headphone jack.
That's true. In my memories, I sort of
it's so pretty.
I sort of group original iPhone into iPhone 4 into iPhone 5 and 5S as sort of the classic iPhones. And then as soon as iPhone 6 comes in, it's like 6 to iPhone 10 is its own generation in my mind. And then after iPhone 10 is like we're into modern iPhone. Yeah. So it's like there's like these three sort of bookends. Like chapters almost.
Okay.
I think I agree with it being in S and below the original iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay. On to iPhone 5C. This is a controversial iPhone, for sure.
Yeah.
I think... Do you remember how they sold this fucking thing?
Yeah. Unapologetically plastic.
Dude.
And the cases were fucking awesome.
They were really cool cases. They were very unique. This is by far... I guess I could have pre-Googled this because this is fascinating. I actually don't know who was the driving force behind the 5C and its existence.
I mean, it's hard to say. It's
such a departure. It's so strange.
Yeah, this is like, to me, this has Tim Cook written all over it. This is him, maximizing tooling and supply chain and offering something. This is where they start experimenting with, it doesn't have to be premium.
Right.
They start experimenting with like, what if we could what if we could meet the consumer halfway?
That's true.
Because at this time, iPhones are a lot of the people that were using and choosing Android were doing so economically, because the iPhone was not. So this was like, I mean, of course, it was made of plastic, but all the color, the color, it was part of the plastic.
They were fun.
It was deep and beautiful, and then you could buy a case that was like a complementary color that had holes all through it, so you could see the phone underneath. To me, that's a C tier.
C tier. Yeah, I would agree with you. The craziest thing to me is that, I guess in my mind, I didn't work at Best Buy that long ago, but I worked at Best Buy at Mobile long enough ago that I sold those.
Damn.
They had like a handful of them around.
So they didn't sell well?
I guess not, because I hit like the peak of my Best Buy career right around iPhone. Like the last iPhone that released, I want to say was the 8 in my like tenure there. And the fact that there was a 5C around at all, and we sold the cases for them, I was like, I remember getting there and being like, is that an iPhone 5C case? Like,
Like to me, this feels like their first attempt at an SE model.
Yeah, you're right. I kind of wish we had one. Yeah, because they're so fun.
Like I'm putting it in C tier because like compared to other iPhones, of course, but it was a very, even if it didn't sell extremely well, this is an important iPhone. I would guarantee to a lot of a select number of people because it was their first option into using iOS.
That's fair. I want to put it above the 11 though.
Okay.
In terms of
controversial, I'll accept it.
Influential. I like the way you put it. Yeah. You know, sort of testing the waters for the SE, for the
eventual
the budget
SE
model.
line. Yeah.
Next up,
that's the iPhone 5S.
That is the 5S. This is the one with your.
Okay, here's a question. Why was the 4S not included, but the 5S is included?
I believe the creators' mentality was the difference between the 4 and the 4S is too minimal.
What's the difference between an iPhone 5 and 5S other than the colors?
I don't know, man. This is a single. Hey, tell you what, we don't have to include a 5S if you don't want to. Since we combined the 4 and the 4S, we could combine the 5 and the 5S.
I think then we're copping out. A choice has to be made.
Okay, what do you think? I mean, it's obviously not going to be at a D tier.
It's going to be in the middle, if anything, like a B or a C.
The 5S, really?
Well,
what's your mentality there?
Like
it was like an S year.
It's just an iteration. Yeah, it's just like. Again, you have to put yourself back in that time period. And there were still a lot of people that, like, if they had a 5, they probably wouldn't buy a 5S.
That's a good point. I'm looking up the release year for the 5 and the 5S. I want to see
2000
phone 5 release
12
date?
2011 2012
September 21st 2012. Now, when did that 5S come out? September 20th, 2013, a year later. So,
of course.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure. I mean, Apple hadn't always done the very precise yearly releases.
Yeah.
They have? Am I insane?
The year that got fucked up was the iPhone 12.
That must be why I'm thinking of that.
That's where I first started talking about shaving my eyebrows. So, of course, the first iPhone was shown in January.
Yeah.
That's different. But,
I think maybe
but then it started, like iPhone 3GS after that started kicking up with the yearly updates.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone got used to number S.
Right.
Number S. It wasn't until iPhone 7 there was never an iPhone 7S. I think that's where that changed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So
I just gotta say, I'm impressed.
Why?
With you're really bringing your knowledge to the table here.
Oh, good.
I'm a little
There's
disappointed.
Probably people that know way more than I do.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a little disappointed in my own knowledge, just out of like how much I've forgotten. Because we've both been in this game a lot. But I guess my brain was like, you don't need to remember anything about previous iPhones.
Yeah. Was iPhone 12 2020?
Well, let me look it up just to make sure, because I don't
want
to...
It was either 2020 or 2021. I don't...
Let's see.
I think it was 2020. It was
2020.
October.
October 2020.
Yeah, that's where it got different. Notice how I knew the month? It wasn't September.
That was impressive.
that is the first instance of me betting my eyebrows.
I forget you can easily track this progression back.
Yeah, so at this point they're doing pre-recorded events.
Yeah.
And they were giving it their all. Like, if you go back, if you feel like if you got an hour or so on your hands and you want to go back and watch an event, the iPhone 12 event is a fucking banger. They put everything into that event. So for October 2020, I had heard through supply chain that because of COVID happening earlier in the year, what had happened was a lot of people just assumed supply chains were suffering. What happened was that executives from Apple that would okay and greenlight projects were unable to travel to China. So that put months behind, and then they had to rush once like restrictions started lifting a little bit, and Apple executives could start greenlighting projects. Like that they weren't using video calls. Like Apple needed to personally, physically go there
as usual.
And I had heard from supply chain that the phone wasn't ready. Whoa. So I said delayed until October, and no one fucking believed it. And then Apple announces an event for September, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're fucking wrong." And then I hear that the event for September is just Apple Watch and iPad. And again, no one believed. There was articles like, so the day of, I said, if they announce the iPhone 12 today, I will shave my eyebrows. I remember like an EK news website, like tabloid website, was like, Apple leaker promises to shave his eyebrows if there's an iPhone 12 today. And I'll never forget, immediately in the keynote, Tim Cook walks up, he goes, "Good morning. Today we're talking about Apple Watch and iPad." And that's how it started. Yeah. So iPhone 12, was in October, and it was just a great phone.
I'm so impressed with that was 5 years ago. Oh, sorry. Oopsie.
That's terrible.
Almost killed you.
Yep, that's terrible.
And your knowledge,
time is not real.
Your knowledge is like yesterday.
You moved something when I was talking. What did you move?
I moved the 5S was an A, and I moved it down into B, and I was trying to decide where it should go, and I wanted your opinion. I feel like
I would put it next to the 3GS.
That's what I was actually going to say. I feel like it's worse than the 11 and the 11 Pro.
It's worse. The look of it is worse. The colors. I mean, you got a rose gold option.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
cool.
I think that's regular gold. If I'm being honest, I think they may have. Yeah, that's regular gold there.
Look it up. Let's Google it.
Okay.
We have to know.
Okay. Let's see. Colors.
This is how we prevent arguments in the comments.
You're right. iPhone 5S colors. We had white gold, white like silver, and space gray / black.
Yeah, that was a fucking lie. That phone. That was what why did I buy the phone? My 5 was all fucked up.
Yeah, most of your iPhones were fucked up in some capacity. Okay, moving on to not my first iPhone, but a great one, iPhone 6, in my opinion. I might be blinded by nostalgia here. Are you okay?
Scroll down.
What? What's wrong?
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure it was not the 6S.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is 6S into 7. Yeah.
6 is tough. Best-selling smartphone of all time in history.
Yeah, that was...
To this day.
That was my... Yeah, I'm pretty sure...
200-something million units sold.
Either the iPhone 6 or the 6S was my first iPhone that I got, new. And it was very exciting.
Yeah. I remember I was with T-Mobile for my iPhone 5 and 5S, and I remember walking into a Verizon and somehow convincing them by signing a new contract to give me an iPhone 6 for free.
Wow.
So I went into a mall not expecting to leave with one, but then I did, and it was awesome. And that was the first time you could choose a leather case.
You know what?
I walked out of the store with a leather case on my iPhone 6.
I just did this on my own. Didn't ask permission. I just felt it. I put it in A tier behind the iPhone 4 and 4S.
Yeah, I would agree. It's tough.
I got some nostalgia to it, but also, new design, rounded sides, and I still, man, the feel of that phone, the aluminum.
So thin, too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They tout thinness now, but go back and hold a 6. It's like nothing. For iPhone 6, I think the issue for audio listeners and for watchers why it's not an S tier, is because this is an iPhone, perhaps one of the first iPhones that was not influential, it was influenced.
Ooh, explain.
They were forced to go bigger. Bigger phones were doing well. Samsung had kicked their ass for 3 years with bigger phones.
Right, yeah.
Steve kept saying no, he was resisting, and Tim just decided not to resist. This was an iPhone that was influenced by the rest of the market as opposed to, the market following Apple and copying them.
Goodness.
What are you looking for?
Well, I just, my memory, it's been a while. I wanted to look up the difference between iPhone 6 and 6S because I just couldn't remember.
Okay.
Just quickly,
Oh, 3D Touch?
That's why, honestly, I couldn't remember if that was on the 7.
It was on the 6S.
6S? You putting money where your mouth is on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Because what I was seeing was mostly incremental S upgrade type stuff, processor speed, camera. Let's see. 3D.
I don't know if that was the first one, but it was on that phone.
The first, look at you. First iPhone with 3D Touch was the iPhone 6S.
Thank you very much.
September 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
That was the difference, dude. That was the big difference. That's why I bought a 6S.
Yeah. I remember, selling those phones at Best Buy and, using 3D Touch to, do it.
Yeah.
Be like going up to old people, be like, yeah, but look, you could press in.
To this
and that
day,
blew people's minds.
To this day, one of the best iPhone features that has ever existed. And for a couple of years, towards the end of the 3D Touch life cycle, I was telling people that it's going to go away because the amount of money that they're putting in for that hardware to work, for them producing might not be worth it if you could, because the same action could be accomplished by a long press. Yeah. And,
here we are.
So everything a long press does is what 3D Touch used to do. But if somehow you were not born yet or you don't know what 3D Touch was, actual pressure display, you would press harder and you would have extra UI options. You could do more stuff. There was just
photo.
There was regular touching, and then there was actual pressing down on the screen. It was fucking awesome.
You know what? That makes me think. Do you know offhand? I'm just, at this point, you're the guy. When was the first live photo iteration?
iPhone 7.
Really? First
I think.
iPhone live photo. How fun. The AI overview on Google says 6S.
Really? Live photos on 6S?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
that
so
makes
6S
sense.
actually has a couple big jumps.
Yeah, that's why I thought, because I remember selling
3D
that.
Touch. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but that was in my vibes. I
see. That was a feature to utilize the
3D Touch, yeah. I put the 6S in A tier behind the 6 and the 4 series. I feel like it was great. The only thing keeping the 6 above the 6S, in my opinion, is it's the first to the new design. And, that whole best-selling iPhone of all time.
Yeah, best-selling phone.
Oh, right. My bad. Yeah, you're right. It was huge. The 6S is clearly the better phone, but that's what's keeping it so high.
Yeah.
And the new features. I'm having a good time with this.
I mean, personally, I would have put it in B tier.
B tier, really? Let's look at that.
Well,
B tier, the 6S.
I mean, look at everything we did. iPhone 5S is in B tier. iPhone 3GS is in B tier. It's just an iteration. If
let's do it.
We could consider squeezing it in A tier because of 3D Touch, because that was actually so good.
Well, let's think about this here. Is it on top of the 11 and the 11 Pro?
The 12 and 11 Pro?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that what that is? 12 and 11 Pro? My bad. Yeah. Is it above the 12 and 11 Pro? 6S? Oh, this really got you.
No.
No.
It's in front of the 5S to me.
Okay. You know what? I will
concede though, because I've been deciding all these. If you want to put it in A tier, you can.
For nostalgia's sake, because this is back in this era, iOS was in a much different spot too. Look at how Steve, sold us on iPhone, software and hardware together.
Yep,
that was still the case for a while. I can't say the same about the 12 and 11 Pro. Things were a little rocky. back then.
Okay.
But with the 6S, shit still felt very collected and very intentional and like good.
I disagree.
Well, that was when stuff started getting bad.
Yeah. Well, so technically, WWDC, the year that the iPhone 6 came out, is when iOS 7 was revealed. Complete redesign.
Yeah.
And Johnny I was in charge of it. And redesigning that whole thing also broke everything.
Yeah.
And that shit sucked. That's when I left the iPhone.
I feel like I have rose-tinted goggles for this era.
After I left after iPhone 6S. The software was so bad that I got a OnePlus phone.
That's the phone that made you jump to OnePlus?
Yeah, because I skipped iPhone 7, iPhone 8.
And you came back for the 10, right?
Yeah, I came back for iPhone 10s actually.
10s, that was it.
The gold.
Man. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to trust your factual memory on this. I think, generally speaking, I actually haven't had as bad of a time with iOS as I have on the 16 base. Literally today,
I agree.
I went
it's a fucking disaster.
When we were scheduling the day out, I was texting you back. The phone fucking springboard crashed on me.
Springboard crashed.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So there's like,
we're gonna leave 6S where it is behind the 12 Pro.
Yeah, if the software the way it is now, like when I say I left iOS because it was so bad, it is worse now. Brian's right, but I've been in for so many years now that I'm stuck. I'm with, I use my Mac.
Yeah.
AirPods are incredible. Like I'm just kind of stuck. So I will accept it.
Before we get too far away into sequential numbered iPhone releases, let's hit iPhone SE.
Tough. That's tough.
I just threw it into the bottom for now to sort it.
We don't have a single D-tier iPhone.
This might be the one.
So iPhone 5S, or no, wait, yeah, that's iPhone SE.
Let me look up.
Did you say iPhone SE?
Yeah, it's iPhone SE.
Okay.
Tell you what, I'm going to look up when it released.
And then I guess?
Well, you can, no, don't guess. You could just start giving me your
I think
opinion.
you can know with 6S.
Oh, let's see. First released. March 31st, 2016. Wow.
So 6S. Or no?
I'm trying to keep these running in my head. 6 months after the iPhone SE, Apple introduced the iPhone 7.
Okay, so yeah.
It was in between.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they announced it at the event. Maybe they didn't. Oh, they did announce it at an event, but I don't think it might have been a later event.
Yeah. Let's think about this.
It's tough because...
Ooh, you're really mulling this one over.
Yeah, it's tough because, like the iPhone 5, if we stick with this decision, iPhone 5C is above it and is obviously hardware-wise a worse phone, a worse experience.
Yeah.
But I think it was also priced accordingly. And
yeah.
The SE after the 6S, it's tough because it's basically, at that point, it's like a mini phone and... Like it might be too big of a departure.
The value proposition, not everybody wanted to jump to a larger device. Not everybody wanted to go into the rounded, like, you could kind of argue that this is really when Apple started offering, look, the SE is just a 5S body.
Yeah, they're just using the tooling and
exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying is like that's when they really cemented the like. Well, here's your cheaper model if you don't want to go for the premium.
But they didn't do this again until 2020.
Yeah,
or
20.
It was April of 2020, April 15th.
I'm just gonna trust you.
You should look it up.
Okay. What are we thinking? Above 5C? What you got for me?
I'm kind of fine with it in D tier.
D tier? Damn. What'd you say again?
iPhone SE2, April 15, 2020.
Oh, April 24th. But impressive.
No, it was announced on April 15th, was it not?
Oh, I was going for release.
It was announced in a press release.
This is, you know what? Let's see. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Do you want to know why I know that date?
What did you bet? I can't remember.
That was my first leak. Okay,
Wow.
so we'd done some leaks before that about a March event being canceled.
Okay.
But the tough part about that, it being my first leak, there's no way to prove that I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
Because if an event doesn't happen, you could argue that it just was not planned. So no one was taking me seriously. And then I had said at the end of March, iPhone SE 2, like confirming that there's going to be another iPhone SE, first one since this one.
Yeah.
There's going to be a second one, and it's coming out April 15th. Or it's going to be announced in a press release, I said, specifically on April 15th. And not only did people not believe me, but 9 to 5 Mac came out with a story soon after saying that I was wrong and that it's imminent.
Good Lord.
And then when there was a date that I think that they gave, and that date came and went, and then people were like, and then the day of, without saying how, I gave everyone a live countdown of when the press release was going to be released. Like, not
Ballsy.
only...
Look at you.
Yeah, people were like... Not only was I so confident that it was that day, but it was 11 a.m. Eastern, I think.
Dude.
I had the exact time, and I was counting down, and everyone was like losing their fucking minds. And if I had been wrong, I remember refreshing the page, the newsroom at 11, nothing. I was fucking panicking. It everything was cached, so it showed up for me at like 11:03. But yeah,
that's crazy. I'm impressed. That's the only word I can really muster for this. Not that I really didn't think I had an encyclopedic knowledge of iPhone historically, but the gap in our knowledge is staggering. If you weren't here with your level of knowledge, I'd be fumbling in the dark with these iPhones.
Well, good thing there's two of us.
Yeah. Impressive. Okay. So D tier, iPhone SE first gen. Fair enough.
Doesn't move the needle for me.
Next up,
iPhone 7 is what you're doing. That's fucking...
If I remember correctly, it's just in D for now. If I remember correctly, that color, which is
jet
the one,
black.
I think it was jet black.
Polished. It was polished.
Jet
black.
I was gonna say either jet black or piano black.
Jet black. Piano black's a cool name though.
Yeah.
Apple, write that down.
Yep, you're right. There was rose gold, silver, black, product red, and jet black. That's the one I had, jet black.
You had the jet black one? Not the matte one? Just the black, like the regular black one?
Sorry, I'm digging through my memories.
Oh, there's not a picture of it. That's the jet black one. I thought you had the regular black one. The matte.
You know what?
It had the...
I can't remember. It was either one. I don't know.
Look at that camera bump being like...
reasonable?
In the actual chassis itself.
Yeah.
Being raised from...
Where are we putting that bad boy?
That's a tough one.
Let's look up notable features of the iPhone 7 because I don't know. This
was a big deal because iPhone 7 Plus, it was not called the Pro yet. The first iPhone Pro is the 11 Pro.
Yeah.
The iPhone 7 Plus had a second lens.
Yep.
First iPhone with a second lens, but it also had image stabilization.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, auto image stabilization. I think those are about the biggest differentiators, but that was a notable release year. There's a few iPhone release years where, in my memory, they're not so much notable, or not as notable as more major years. Like, iPhone 8 is in that for me, too, where it's like, there was a design overhaul, and...
iPhone 8 was announced with iPhone 10. iPhone 10 was the one more thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I must have been so tabbed out of that. Oh, you got it in? You got it there? Maybe that's why iPhone
2018?
Maybe that's why iPhone 8 exists in my mind as a lackluster.
Was iPhone 10s 2018?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
We're talking iPhone 7 and 7 Plus for now.
So my opinion on the 7 is this is where it starts to get disappointing. Like, put yourself back in that year, okay? You're back at that time. This is where Apple really starts pushing how far they're just iterating. Like,
okay.
You know, people...
Learn me something.
Yeah, so 6, is a big jump. 6S was like really close, and then obviously then you had the SE or whatever. But this is like where other phones are starting to compete a lot.
Other manufacturers.
Yeah, and Apple's just doing the same thing again. The dual lens thing, that was cool, but it was on the 7 Plus. So if you didn't want a big phone, you just didn't get that feature.
Yeah.
And it's, I wouldn't call it D tier, but it wasn't like...
Well, we can't put it worse than a 5C. That would be insulting.
But are we putting the 11? Like...
Oh, it's getting hard.
Can we put it like... Can this be the first one we set aside?
The C?
And come back to?
I'm
no,
sorry.
the 7.
I mean, my bad.
Yeah.
The 7.
It's tough. Tough.
Tell you what. We'll keep it in D for now.
Oh, okay.
That's sort of where it's going to sit.
Okay.
And we'll go
when you
from
put
there.
it down there, it kind of felt right, but, we'll check later.
The vibes. All right, Jern. I'm going to need help on these.
Gotcha.
So,
iPhone, which one are you pointing at?
10R. This is 10R?
Yep.
Well, hang on. Chronologically. Let's go chronological here for a second. What is this guy, the white one?
That's the iPhone. That's the original iPhone SE. Or no, the iPhone SE2, the one I leaked.
That's SE2.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rose gold, that's iPhone 8.
Let's go 8. Let's go 8 now.
Okay.
iPhone 8.
It's so fucked up because it's the same design as the iPhone 8, like the iPhone SE2, but I know that render.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
iPhone 8. Where does that jive with you?
That is a fucking solid D tier.
Damn.
That was like, okay, before the iPhone 10 was announced, there were leaks about a full display iPhone.
Yeah.
They were sketchy. And then the event starts and they start talking about iPhone. They announce iPhone 8 and everyone's just like, fuck. Like, of course this is what they did. Of course. Like, that felt like Apple just, that's what. And then people either assumed the 10 leak was either incorrect or was for the following year. But the issue was that was the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. So if it was coming, it was going to be that event. And they showed the iPhone 8 and it was just like, that looks like ass. Like, that is really like, they have stretched this too thin now. This is the exact same design as the 7. It's just glossy now.
Yep.
And which is also just an iteration off the iPhone 6S, which was an iteration off the iPhone 6. So people are tired of this. There are full display, curvy display Samsung phones.
Yeah.
This was not jiving.
I will say, notable feature that I thought I remembered correctly about iPhone 8. First iPhone to feature wireless charging.
Yes. That's why I had a glass back.
Right. That's what I remember, from my memory.
Yeah.
So ass. Is it below
it's
the
lowest.
The lowest.
It
okay.
fucking sucks.
I'm just keeping the 7 below it for future sorting. Damn.
That phone, the iPhone 10, even though it was the one more thing at the event, the iPhone 8 launched first.
Yeah.
The iPhone 10, I think, launched like a week or so later.
Uh-huh.
So they launched iPhone 8 first, and immediately everyone realized the sales were down. Like, no one wanted this phone.
Yeah.
They were waiting for the iPhone 10. It just sucks. It sucks.
That's brutal.
I want it over there. Like,
I can't, all the way on the side of D. I can't put it there. It's the worst one.
Why not?
Well, you have to like line them up. But I'll put it here for now.
That's what I meant.
Okay,
like,
I see.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I guess we can do SE second gen now.
Okay, SE second gen has a special place in my heart.
Where are we going? What are you thinking?
It's weird because the first iPhone SE we put in D tier.
Yeah.
But the second gen iPhone SE is a game changer to me.
Okay. Give me your reasoning.
The price was perfect.
Okay.
And it was an iPhone 8 design, just retooling for iPhone 8. But to me, it put it in such a place where it was a good experience. It had just enough features. It had iOS, obviously, and a lot of people that again, that's their first instance of getting in the door. It's great for kids, like a kid's first iPhone.
$399.
Yeah.
Debut price.
Yeah. You could have asked me.
Oh, no, I know. I just wanted to...
Oh, yeah, dude, that day was insane because I announced... I have a tweet of the specs. Like, I said the price before Apple did.
Wow.
Yeah. And at this point, Mac Rumors was like, they had started reporting. Like, as I was tweeting live, they were writing articles.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just, that's a great value proposition iPhone.
Tell you what, I'm going to do something, and you go off of vibes and tell me.
Yeah.
And I'll walk the audio listeners through.
Okay.
I'm taking the iPhone SE 2nd Gen, and I'm putting an A tier behind the iPhone 6. I just left it there, and now John's processing.
No.
No. Okay.
I think
I just threw it up there.
S tier. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
B tier for me.
B? Where are we slotting it in?
I would put it in between 6S and 5S.
Okay.
So my reasoning.
Yeah, please. Explain.
And it's tough to do this on, it feels weird to do this because it doesn't it's not out yet. But the 3rd gen iPhone SE is about to drop.
That's going to be
in
a
a
big
month
one.
or so.
Uh-huh.
And it's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
Like they learned what they could from this, and they give you even more with the 3rd gen SE. If the 3rd gen SE drops, and it is no more than $100 more than the 2nd gen,
Yeah.
S tier.
Right.
That's a fucking. You don't understand what kind of killer that phone's going to be.
We've been preaching that for years at this point.
Oh, it will. Yeah, sell like crazy.
Yeah. Hotcakes.
Hotcakes, they would say. And what's next? Point at a phone.
iPhone 10.
That's an S tier.
S tier. Okay.
That's another iPhone that is influential.
It's totally off my radar.
Really?
I was not participating
okay.
in the space at this time.
Oh, okay.
And I was just utilitarian using a device. I actually don't remember what phone I had.
Okay.
Like was
it a Nexus 6P or something?
I don't know. It may have been. I was just doing whatever I wanted at this point.
Okay, before you put it in S tier and just listen to me, I want your opinion, so let's put you in the moment.
Okay, yeah, put me there.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this.
It's September.
Cold.
This is
chilly.
This is the first Apple event in the new Steve Jobs Theater.
Yeah.
Before the show, there's a tribute to Steve.
Yeah. Okay.
Then they announce the iPhone 8 Plus. You feel disappointed.
You feel a little.
You feel deflated.
Yeah. Like that's it.
And then towards the end of the show, Tim Cook tells you that there's one more thing. And I might be wrong, but no, that I'm incorrect. I was going to say that was his first one more thing, but the Apple Watch was, I think.
Yeah.
Tim Cook says there's one more thing on the big wide screen. People lose their fucking mind. And then they show the promo video for iPhone 10, and it's showing just thin bezel going all the way around the phone, and then you see the phone turn to a lady, a younger lady, and her face lights up with those dots, the Face ID dots, and that then they show the whole phone. People fucking lose their mind. It is so influential. Think about everyone made fun of the notch, including me. Think about how many phones after that had a notch.
That's true.
Everyone did. Even if they had the little teardrop notch.
It became a meme.
Yeah, everyone did that. This was also the first phone. This seems small, but to someone like me is so important. The bezels were congruent. Is that the right word? Like the same all the way around?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Because
that's a big deal.
At the time,
yeah,
even full bezel phones had a thicker chin.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Because there had to be a place where the OLED
Something
plugged
had to
in.
go there. Yeah.
For the iPhone 10, they folded the OLED. So while everyone was selling phones with bendy screens, Apple was just using it to their advantage and had folded it under, so it follows the bottom of the phone and plugs in on the opposite side. So they were able to, you have those uniform bezels all the way around other than the notch. Extremely influential to me. Also, first phone with Face ID on it, which is to this day sometimes I miss Touch ID, but Face ID feels like magic.
It does every time. Yeah. You're right. Even this changed everything. This is the biggest change to iPhone since it was announced because there's no home button. Now you interact with the UI completely differently. That's what swiping. And that's how every phone works now. Everyone has a face scanner. Everyone, you swipe up from the bottom. Everyone's full screen. This was a crazy, crazy influential phone. I think it's obviously S tier. Mm-hmm. The only real question, which is first?
I think
top
it's
of S tier.
placed appropriately.
Well, I was going to say, is it below the original iPhone or on top?
It's below, I think. Because it's the second most influential iPhone.
Right. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I completely missed. My first modern iPhone back was, I think it was the 12 mini. Yeah.
Mm.
That was my first return to iPhone.
Wow, you
That's
were gone
crazy.
for a while.
I was.
So we left, and then we almost came back at the same time. I
Pretty
just
much.
came back. Oh, I came back a couple years earlier, I guess.
Yeah, no, that 10. Yeah, I'm like retroactively a little sad that I missed that. You know, that feels like that I would have been hype if I was paying attention.
You should just, when you have free time, watch that part of the event.
I've seen
Okay.
we've watched it together. I've seen it.
Okay.
Because I remember
Incredible.
I probably watched it in that time frame, but I was probably just whatever.
Phil Schiller was still there. He's on stage explaining Face ID and why it's better, and they had tested it, and it was X amount times more secure than Touch ID, and crazy.
No, I like it. While you were just not to further bury the 7, but while you were giving me that lovely return or that memory lane rundown, I remembered that the iPhone 7 was also that's when the headphone jack died.
Fuck that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to stay there.
This is, okay, the issue was, I don't have an issue with, the fact that our phones don't have headphone jacks, I don't care. That's fine. This was the iPhone 7 was, it was important because that's the day they announced AirPods.
Yeah.
They created a problem and then fixed the problem right after.
I still have my wired earpods, like my lightning earpods sitting around from that phone.
I think it was just, that's where, Phil says courage.
Courage.
It took courage to do.
It took courage.
Which is true, but it's only cool if you don't say that out loud.
If you don't actually acknowledge it.
Because then, this is the day that Samsung immediately makes fun of them on Twitter, and then the following year has no headphone jack. This is every phone company made fun of it, and then the next year didn't have a headphone jack.
Yep.
Just use the space for other stuff.
Next on the list, this is a big one, 10R.
Very influential iPhone. It's not S tier for sure.
No. A very important iPhone for our channel, too, in a way, for FPT.
Really?
In my opinion, this was one of... This was this era, that year, I remember specifically, a lot of you were championing that device and how important and how well it was going to sell, and it felt like nobody believed you.
Yeah.
Until the numbers came out.
Best-selling iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, of that time.
Yeah, of that time frame.
So, I mean, we had... What is in my eye? I'm going to die.
I think it was an eyelash. I see it entering.
Is it still there? Can you get it?
Okay. Hang on.
No. Just get it.
I'm telling them, hang on.
No.
Okay.
Don't hang on. Is it still there?
Turn a little bit that way. No, you're good.
Okay.
Why are you so bushy?
Bushy?
Your eyelashes are you're like graying up or something. I don't know what's going on.
What?
I don't know. They're like getting worse.
How long have we been recording?
An hour.
Holy shit!
Hey, hope you guys want a long episode because we're not stopping this train until we hit all the content points.
Yeah, this is the first one where the specs leak like 6 months early.
Yeah,
and I'm trying. I'm like, this is gonna be the best selling iPhone. It's gonna be the best selling iPhone. It looks just close enough to the current iPhone. It's gonna be a great price. Colors. It's gonna have colors, and it was a bit thicker, and of course when it came out, that's where the iconic unbox therapy video drops of the iPhone XR is depressing.
Yeah,
that's where our first drama instance happens with Lou.
You're right. Yes, important to the channel. Like this was a big deal.
And then I will never forget how many like YouTubers made videos directly referencing me and laughing at me. And then a few months later, numbers come out and the iPhone XR was not selling as well as the regular models. So more videos came out. John Prosser was wrong. But you spread that out over time and realized that like nerds and enthusiasts might buy the phone right away, their iPhone right away. But what really tells you this, like a mainstream iPhone is what people are buying over time. When they have an upgrade available, when they go into the store to buy a new phone, and you give that phone 12 months, and it's the best-selling iPhone.
Yeah.
It's not S tier. It's
a B tier.
I'm inclined to say A tier because this was an influential iPhone to the rest of iPhones forever.
Behind the 6.
Because then every iPhone, this became the standard iPhone.
Yeah.
So,
while you were giving your view, I'm like a little annoyed here. I'm also annoyed at Apple.
Okay.
I'm annoyed at me.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed at this tier list maker.
Okay.
And I'm annoyed at Apple.
Okay.
I wish we would have done it chronological from the beginning.
Oh.
Because
we've just been like going around and
well,
around.
Bouncing a little bit. I've been trying to keep it chronological, but I decided to finally pull up a chronological release order. And I didn't realize that the iPhone SE2 came out so far away from the 10R and the 11 and the 10, things like that. The SE2 came out in April of 2020, while the 10R was like 2018.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so apologies retroactively to the audience. I'm sure somebody is annoyed.
Yeah, we were just going by vibes.
We're vibing. Yeah, we're vibing.
We're telling you what phone it is before we.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. All right, Jern, this.
Do you want to go chronologically for the last few?
Well,
iPhone 10s.
10s.
That's tough. It's another iteration.
This is important to you, though.
It is, but like, I can't.
I'm just having to climb the ranks. Okay, I'm gonna do something, and then, again, you tell me. Now, what I did there, I put it in B tier between the iPhone 11 and the 12 Pro, right? Yeah.
I would put it, I think you're right with B tier. I would put it between 11 and 6S. iPhone 11 is influential.
Oh, wait, that's 11 Pro.
That's the first
11
iPhone 11 Pro.
Yeah.
That's the first time we get triple lenses. Cameras are massive. That's when cameras really start to be a big deal.
Fair.
For iPhones and all phones, I guess.
Fair. What was something else notable about the 10S to you besides the color? And that was your return to iPhone.
To be honest, it was just I had made the decision to go back to iPhone, and that was just the newest iPhone. It wasn't like it didn't convince me from
there was
features
no deeper thought. That was just you wanted to jump back in.
And the gold looks pretty. That's kind of the only.
Do you want to
thing.
go get it? Do you know where it is?
No idea.
Okay, we do have one.
That's kind of the only thing that it had going for it.
I like that that's the image chosen. That's the iconic look.
Yeah, any year there's a new color. That's the default.
Well,
one
sometimes they don't land as good. But that was a great choice.
Yeah.
Next up,
that is the iPhone 15 Pro.
That's the iPhone 15 Pro. Yeah.
First dynamic island. That's another okay.
Well, hold up, we haven't done.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I'm so wrong. Sorry, that's the iPhone 14 Pro.
This guy
that you just showed.
Yes.
I don't know why I said 15 Pro. For a second, people were screaming.
Yeah, let's try to. These are not. This order is very frustrating.
This one is the iPhone 11.
That's the iPhone 11. Okay.
No, I'm a fucking moron. That's the iPhone 13.
Can I just say
that's iPhone 13, regular iPhone 13.
I just want to say
I'm so stupid.
No, it's not you.
It's just also green.
Well, there's a reason this is happening. That we're getting
we didn't go in order.
Well, there's that, but also this comes down to why people have been so annoyed and frustrated at Apple in the past 5 or so years.
Yeah.
The lack of actual differentiation between models. We're getting them confused because all we have to go off of is photos and renders. And at this point, this design language is so locked in.
Yeah.
The big thing for me is the wallpapers.
Yeah.
That's a 14 Pro. I'm right? It's a 14 Pro?
Oh yeah, that is a 14 Pro.
Right. That's the only thing that's really helping me is the color and the dynamic island and the wallpaper. Beyond that, it's the same shape, the same design language.
Okay, so just to clarify, far left is iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay.
Then it's the 13 Pro.
13.
Then it's 13. Then it's 13 Pro.
And then it's 14 Pro. Okay. So
Jesus.
12 Pro.
12 Pro, fucking S tier.
S tier. Explain, because again, this is for me. I'm a bit out of this.
It's back end of S tier, but yeah. This is a return to form.
Okay.
This is the biggest rumor there was that it was going to have 120 hertz, and it didn't. It ended up not having that. That came with the 13.
But is that gonna? Can you call it S tier then?
I can call it S tier because it's a massive change in design. And not only is it a massive change in design, it's not just any change, it's a callback to iPhone 4. I remember holding the iPhone 12 and being like, this is the perfect iPhone. It's like they gave me everything I wanted, and it's the blue color was incredible. I think that was the first iPhone that had like a night mode. I don't know what that's called.
Oh, where the screen would dim? Is that what you're referring to?
No. When you take a picture, like long exposure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I forget the name.
It had Fusion, whatever that was called. Where it could take multiple exposures and blend them.
You're right. I completely forgot that the iPhone 11 was rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, look, this was the iPhone 11 is just what the 10R was. Well, and then that's the iPhone 11 Pro, which is, yes, rounded.
Well, to be fair, small photos. I'm zoomed in, but I'm doing my best. And again, wasn't around really for this era.
Okay. I might have been jumping the gun.
With S.
If it's not S, it's A. It's for sure.
I agree.
It's for sure A.
I agree A, and I'm thinking behind the 6.
I'm thinking behind the 4.
Behind the 4?
No, you're right.
Oh,
I think I initially said S because it's I love that phone.
Understandable.
I love the iPhone 12 Pro.
Yeah, understandable.
Every year since then. Oh, actually, I disagree with what I agree. I disagree with me.
Okay. You want to get an updated agreement with John?
I agree where it is
currently.
This is near peak iPhone.
12 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair. That's I think peak modern iPhone.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because personally, to me, man, I got to be real. I don't enjoy holding the harsh sides. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Since they have gone stainless steel and when they whatever
titanium.
Back the 12 Pro was
stainless steel. Yeah.
Yeah, and those phones were heavy. And those,
that was awesome.
But those corners, if you didn't have a case on it, not gonna lie, they started fucking hurting.
Yeah,
holding it for extended periods.
And the fingerprints.
That too. Okay, 13. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. 13.
13 is a standard.
It's a standard release.
Yeah, it's hard to.
It feels like a throwaway.
Is our B tier getting? Yeah, it's a C tier. It's a C tier.
C tier. I'm gonna put it towards the top. It's not.
I agree.
It's not worse than a 5C.
No.
Top of C tier for iPhone 13.
Agree.
13 Pro.
That's peak iPhone. The thing I was about to say about iPhone 12, I then remembered iPhone.
Okay. So
13 Pro.
13 Pro. We're going to S tier.
It is the same. It's the same design as. I don't know.
Oh.
I think it's S tier, but same design as iPhone 12 Pro, and it has 120 hertz.
Yeah, ProMotion.
There's nothing to complain about with this phone. It just worked great. It was a great iPhone.
Bridget still has one.
Incredible iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't ever wish I just kept my 13 Pro, but I wouldn't be disappointed. Mm-hmm. That's how good that phone was, that it would hold up to today.
Yeah. It also says a lot that spec wise, we're getting into modern.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very modern iPhone. They're still fine.
Yeah.
If somebody got an iPhone 13 Pro today, they'd have a good experience.
That color Sierra blue, by the way.
They'd have a good time with that phone.
It was iPhone 12 was for, especially if you were an Apple fan and you love the history of Apple. Even though it seemed simple, the callback to iPhone 4 was insane.
Yeah.
Going flat edges, the reveal for that phone during the pre-recorded event was fucking nuts. Still my favorite iPhone reveal ever, iPhone 12 Pro.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it after this.
But the issue was they just almost got there. They didn't give you 120 hertz, what everyone thought was going to happen. So it was so close, and then finally you have it all comes together. Perfect design, 120 hertz, great phone. It peaked there.
Now, do you feel that the disappointment from the 12 Pro not having ProMotion detracts a bit? So I agree with what you're saying, peak iPhone, or but the fact that it was almost a little late, like the fact that ProMotion didn't come on the 12 sort of retroactively hurts the 13 Pro, as it's like it was late, kind of. The late feature. It should have been on the 12 Pro.
I mean,
does that not factor in for you?
No, because like that's such an Apple thing. Like they're not gonna. They got to save something for next year, or else like
fair enough.
That 120 hertz is what made people that had an iPhone 12 be like, okay.
I do remember when you had the 14 Pro, you having this energy of, why do I have this?
Yeah.
That was one of the first times I've seen you go.
Yeah, it's been downhill since then.
Yeah, I've seen you go, why do I have this device right now?
Yeah, it's like 13 Pro, in terms of hardware, is peak iPhone. It was so good.
So, for A tier, it's obviously above the 12 Pro. 6? What are we thinking? How long can the 6 stay where it is? If you had, visualize, right in front of you, got an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 13 Pro, which one to you is...
I'm actually in my head making a different decision.
Oh, what's that?
I'm asking ourselves, if nostalgia is not a factor, is the 13 in front of the 4?
If nostalgia is not a factor, well, ignoring nostalgia, iPhone 4 is the first true redesign for iPhone. A lot happened with the iPhone 4 and the 4S. We've got Siri came out
with iPhone 4S.
Oh, there she is. Sorry, everybody.
I
mean, she also sucked, to be fair.
She did. It's tough because it is like in terms of...
Let's try it on for size.
Yeah. That feels good.
That feels good. Putting the iPhone 13 Pro ahead of the 4 in A tier.
Yeah. It's like...
Top of A tier, iPhone 13 Pro.
I mean, what do you think?
I don't hate it.
I didn't expect to bump the iPhone 4 at all.
No, I think that there's an argument to be made there. I think that's reasonable.
It can't be S tier.
I think the 13 Pro and the 4 are very close to importance. If anything, my brain almost wants to put the 6 ahead of the 4. Honestly.
That's tough. Well, that's again that with the iPhone 6, that's where I said this was the first iPhone that wasn't influential, it was influenced.
Yeah.
iPhone 4 was influential.
That's true. That's true.
This is the iPhone 6 is Tim Cook's response to the rest of the market.
Bigger iPhone. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. Let's leave it at
and the antenna lines
now.
On the back, ass.
I actually like them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. They have a nice...
You like suffering.
Apparently. Okay, so...
That leaves us with iPhone 14 and 14 Pro.
Yeah, gotta be honest, I didn't realize the 15 and 16 series were
not on here.
Yeah.
That's okay.
that actually says a lot, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Because 14 Pro, in a weird way, is kind of the last... I don't know if I could call the 15 Pro influential. And the 16 Pro is whatever.
Yeah.
And the 15 is...
The 16 Pro is so whatever, we didn't buy it.
Yeah, we have. You're right. Okay, so before we're getting ahead of ourselves, 14. One of the worst selling iPhones of all time.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a 13 with a Y.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'm going to put the 14 the bottom of C tier.
Okay. So we have the 13 at the top of C tier, 14 at the bottom?
Because it's iterative. They're almost the same device in a lot of ways.
I would put it in D tier.
D tier.
Top of D tier.
Above the SE?
So this is the same year that Pro got Dynamic Island. This is...
It got nothing.
Nothing.
You know what? Yeah, fuck this phone. Fuck the 14.
Good. Okay, good.
Okay.
That gives us 14 Pro.
14 Pro.
This is tough.
Hang on.
This is so tough.
I'm just going to mouse it up there. I'm going to start taking it up. I think the 14 Pro was a good device, but the Dynamic Island was it was not the answer to the notch that I wanted, personally.
I disagree.
I think it has become better. Like, I think on the iPhone 16, I like the dynamic island more than when it was on the 14 Pro.
Well, that's because it's more widely supported now.
Well, our light flickered.
That's how long we've been going.
Yeah.
That's just going to happen now. You realize?
Let's hurry up.
Do we have one charged?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can take a quick break after this. This took a lot longer than I expected. The 14 Pro was a good device, but it was like it felt proof of concept in a big way to me.
Okay, so to take you back, 14 Pro had leaked. The hardware had leaked. And what we had seen was a weird eye shape at the top. So everyone was prepared for like a speaker part and then a camera part and with a separation in the middle. I was so surprised by Dynamic Island. Dynamic Island is one of my favorite surprises. It's like, of course they thought of that. Of course it doesn't look like... Of course the hardware looks like that. But of course they made that area useful. It doesn't just exist. It's important to the usefulness of the phone. I use it all the time.
That's not without merit.
The animations are fucking smooth as hell. But the issue is, it's a 13 Pro with a dynamic island.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
right now it's at the top of B tier.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think it could probably bump the 10R from the bottom at A tier.
It wasn't as influential.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay, and
we've done it.
So we don't currently have photos or entries for the 15 or 16 series. Where would those be? C tier?
Yeah.
They're just kind of middling.
Yeah.
I think maybe they're too recent for us to...
We have been on decline since the 13.
I think it was admirable that
Pro.
the 15 Pro had the titanium switch, the switch to titanium.
Mm-hmm.
But it also didn't really... that was it, kind of.
Mm-hmm. I also just remembered 13 Pro had a lot of crazy features. That's when the camera started getting serious. Like there's cinematic mode and like...
Okay.
Towards the end of the event, they're showing like people making real commercials and movies out of it. Like they made a short film with it. It was like...
I've made a judgment call.
Okay.
It's above the 10R.
What is?
13 Pro. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I grabbed the 14 Pro.
Yeah, 13 Pro is what I'm talking about.
My
the one
bad.
that we already have at the top of it.
No, you're right. I grabbed the wrong one. That can stay.
Am I right?
I think I agree with you. Yeah, that's it.
No, I'm saying, am I right about what feature came with what?
I believe so. Feel free to look it up. I think our next order of business is to do a final ranking.
It was the 13, yeah.
Okay. So we'll go from the top down.
Yep.
The number one best iPhone of all time
Yeah.
is the original. That is S tier number one.
Okay, yes, agree.
We agree. Behind that, iPhone 10, S tier number 2.
Agree.
And behind that, iPhone 5, S tier number 3.
Agree.
We happy with that?
I am. Are you?
Yeah. No, I think so. I like the reasons for all three.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first iPhone being number one makes total sense. It was the jumping off point for a major part of human society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The world has changed
Yeah.
with the new iPhone, or the debut of the iPhone. iPhone 10, I agree with you. Second most influential in many other ways. Huge leap for technology in a lot of ways, at least for mainstream consumers.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Face ID was probably around in some other sense, but Apple bringing it to the table is always a big deal when they decide to adopt new technology.
Think about how many times you've had to learn a different way to use the iPhone. It's only happened twice.
Exactly.
The original one, iPhone 10.
Yeah.
Like the iPhone 10 changed the entire software experience as well. So
Moving on to A tier,
iPhone 13 Pro.
iPhone 13 Pro.
Agree.
Yeah. Ahead of the 4 and 4S.
Yeah.
Yes. Talking about having to learn how to use an iPhone differently. With the 4 too. You're holding it wrong.
Oh, yeah. I guess so, yeah.
Beyond that, iPhone 6.
Yep.
The only thing, I'll be real, the only thing keeping the iPhone 6 below the 4 to me, and the 4S, is it being the first release under Tim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it being like an answer to the market.
Yeah.
That's a negative. However, its performance is undeniable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Beyond
like
that.
220 million units sold. It's insane.
What was this guy again?
That's the iPhone 12.
iPhone 12.
Pro, iPhone 12 Pro. I got to include the...
iPhone 12 Pro.
Agree.
We happy with that?
Yep. Another. Yeah, so, I mean, you guys have been following along. You know that we're not ranking purely based on hardware and performance and stuff. Like, how influential it was at the time and what happened afterwards is factored in a lot. So that's why iPhone XR is at the end of A tier.
Yeah, I think that matters.
It doesn't change the world, but it changes Apple.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes default iPhone. That's a big deal.
On to B tier. iPhone 14 Pro leading the charge.
And the only reason it's there is Dynamic Island. If it had a notch, it's in C tier.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Then regular iPhone 12. Again, for the regular iPhone, flat sides. That's, you know.
Good colors. Good colors.
iPhone 11 Pro, first Pro iPhone with triple lens array. It's to this day, that's how it's set up.
You know what? I'm sorry. 11 Pro had a 12.
Okay. That's fair.
First Pro iPhone, that's big.
Yeah, that's fair.
We can't put that, like, that was...
I agree.
A great idea.
Agree.
You know? So, iPhone 11 Pro has moved up.
That's because of this.
Yeah.
Because of XR.
Yeah. Okay, behind iPhone 12 now is iPhone XS. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's where it should be.
Yeah? Followed... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Followed by iPhone 6S.
6S? That's reasonable.
SE2, which is punching way above its weight class to be in B tier, even though it's towards the end.
Followed by 5S. Mm-hmm. I almost want to drop the 5S to C tier.
I agree. Immediately.
Got to move it up. Head of C tier, well, for now.
That's where it should be.
At the end of B tier, we have the iPhone 3G. And I guess I assume 3GS is in there as well, because that was a technical separate, right? iPhone 3G, 3GS.
I don't think it should be in B tier. Why did we put it in B tier?
Oh, you know, this is the point of final rankings. Where do you think it should be? iPhone 3G.
It feels... if I put it in D, it's not because I think it's a bad phone.
It's just not that special.
I mean, the software was better.
Well,
like you could change your wallpaper, and like the App Store was there, and it's like, okay, I think it's in the right place. If we consider software, I think it's in the right place.
Yeah. Let's see. iPhone
the App Store is a huge deal. That's a huge deal. Also changed the entire world.
Yeah, that's true. 3G also was a major jump in network connectivity.
Yeah, because it was like 2.5 or Edge for the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, this is, in a way, also punching up pretty high because that's really what carried it was the software, the sort of laying the groundwork for future iPhone with the 3G.
Kind of incredible that it's like basically same hardware. I think it had 8 gigs of RAM.
But still.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
And the choices might have been 4 gigs and 8 gigs. I can't remember.
Good Lord. C tier, leading it is 5S. Yeah. That's a C tier iPhone right there.
No. Wait.
No, you don't think so? 5S.
That's the 5S and that's the 5 or the SE?
SE, yeah. Yeah, 5S. Okay. C tier. Ooh, you're really mulling this one over.
Why did we put SE
in D?
In D? Because it was good enough to do it again. And we have
we can reshuffle.
SE.
Yeah, we can reshuffle.
I think
we're talking 5S for now. Uh-oh. Major reshuffle here? Well, let's consider. Let's just throw how does a 5S compare to a 6S to you? Because that's the next real sort of contender.
Well, I mean, That's
in terms of ranking,
well, we can't do that.
Okay.
Because like that the 6S hasn't happened yet. We have to.
Well, you're trying to. Well, we
like
can.
If you look at just the iPhone 5S, it's just the iteration of the 5 with worse colors.
That sounds like a C tier decision to me.
But is it top of C tier?
Well, how does it compare to
14 or no 13?
Yeah, the 13.
Right? Apple, come on. That's the 13.
How does a 5S compare to a 13?
It's ahead of it. It might be in the right spot.
Yeah. Then 5C?
We have the iPhone 11 in the wrong spot. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, let's move it up.
I think we rated it too
harshly?
Yeah. I feel good with iPhone 11 at the top of C tier, followed by 5S, followed by 12, 13, followed by 5C.
I like that too. Yeah, okay. You're right. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Okay, D tier?
D tier. Leading it is iPhone 14. iPhone 14's...
Regular 14.
Yeah.
That's where it should be.
Yeah, I was going to say, that feels good.
Then SE?
SE, I don't think it should be D tier. I think
I
I'm
don't
with
think
you.
so either. It would have to
be
be at the very end.
Tell you what, I moved it up above the 5C.
You're right. Why?
That feels
the 5C was cute and different, but it wasn't influential. It didn't change anything. In fact, they didn't ever do it again.
But it's also not a tragedy. Like the 14, like that, these phones.
This is, I agree with this list completely.
You like it as it is right now?
D is the 14, followed by the 7 and 7 Plus, followed by the 8 and 8 Plus.
Damn.
Yeah, that's where it's like, okay, disappointing. Okay, really disappointing.
You know what? I think I agree with you.
Yeah, that 8 is where they just pushed it too far.
How does this look as a grand scale? I think I agree with this.
I actually think the 8. So our worst ranked iPhone of all time is the iPhone 8. And I actually believe that had they not released iPhone 10 that year with iPhone 8, it might have done some significant damage. Like I don't think Apple would have had a good year, and they would have to recover.
Maybe that's why they decided, like, maybe the iPhone 8, that cycle was going a certain way, and they just had to pull the trigger.
The iPhone 8 is so bad that it's more damaging than anything.
Wow. And that's the worst rated iPhone on
Recycle
Bin. I hope everybody enjoyed the tier list. What did you think? Was this your first tier list?
Yeah, I think so.
What did you think?
I didn't know how they worked until you explained it, so it felt good.
Yeah, feel good?
Yeah. It took us 8 hours, but we're here.
It did take us about an hour and a half. I thought it was great. I think this was a great, like, retroactive look at iPhone as a whole.
Yeah.
I found myself feeling differently. Like, if I were to, before this tier list, if I were to look backwards at my history of owning iPhones, iPhone 7 sticks out in my mind as a very memorable time in a good way. But remembering that it was the first to have to kill the headphone jack.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's all the first year where they're starting to push it.
Yeah. They were kind of
using the same design. They only got away with it because this is the first time where a Plus phone gets an extra something.
Yeah. And for iPhone 8 to be the worst, I can't help but to agree, because even in my memory, the iPhone 8 is so forgettable.
Oh yeah, it was fucking ass.
So forgettable. The iPhone 8 to 10, like the 10, the only thing bad about the 10 is that it was paired with the 8. And it caused everybody...
But was that on purpose?
Yeah. But it caused also everybody to go, where's the 9?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody be like, what are we doing?
I feel like them doing that, phoning it in for iPhone 8 is on purpose.
Yeah. It almost feel like they sabotaged it.
Yeah.
Like...
By doing that, it's like... So Apple doesn't like comparing by name specific pieces of hardware versus their own.
Yeah.
So I think this was their way to compare what is versus what will be in the same event.
It kind of works in a way, like, it almost feels like future Apple, like Tim from like 5 years later, came back. He was like, listen, we're skipping the 9. You guys suck. Like, the 8 sucks. The 9, you're going to do a bad job again. Just go right to the 10 and give them that. because whatever you're going to release for the 9 is going to suck a bunch of dicks.
I feel like it's taken to now, 2025, to where everyone refers to it as the iPhone 10 instead of the iPhone X.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did
yeah.
Anybody who was in the ecosystem, though, was used to like Mac OS
10, yeah.
All
right.
Tier list complete.
What's next? What are we doing? The episode is so long.
Okay. Time for voicemails.
Let's do it.
If you didn't know, guys, it's a call-in show.
It is.
We don't mention it often at all. It's a joke. We mention it all the time.
404-919-5530 is the phone number you can call.
You nailed it.
Had a lot of voicemails this week, so I feel bad for Usually, Bern will vet voicemails right before we hit the record button. Like, he'll sit in the corner by himself. Lately, he's been having to do that the day before.
Oh, yeah.
So, thank you. You guys lead the show. We had a fun idea. Well, you had a fun idea for the tier list, but most of the time, you guys lead the show. We talk about whatever you force us to talk about through voicemails. 404-919-5530.
Yeah. And a couple of things before we get into voicemails. We had a lot this week. More than usual by quite a substantial margin. We had a few that cannot be played, mostly due to audio issues, and just I couldn't clean them up. They just were really rough, and some of them were split into multiple parts. So
did you have to glue some together?
No. But just a quick call out to some lovely fans who did leave voicemails.
Okay.
Number 1, Hamed from Egypt.
Holy shit.
Yeah. One of our first, I mean, we've had international voicemails previous. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've had any from so far away. Thank you, Hamed. I spent minutes listening to his voicemail. He left a couple back to back, and they were a little longer, but I gleaned all I could from them, and I swear to God, the best I could get, I had to make sure I got his name because the quality was just...
He probably used, a VoIP service.
Right.
And it just...
So, thank you. I really appreciate you sending your thoughts in. I wish I could comment on them, but that's the best I can offer is appreciation. Beyond that, Chris from New York, you sent a lovely voicemail. This was an audio quality issue. It was just, I don't know what happened, if he was being attacked by gamma rays or something.
Yeah.
Poor Chris. His audio quality was terrible, but he had an incredible idea.
Okay.
So we're going to do this idea. We're stacking up plans. So we got a Shilajit taste test coming up.
Okay.
On the next episode, I'm hoping. Episode after that, this was his idea, and I'm giving him credit. We're going to do a blind test with socks. This is his idea that I'm reworking.
Fucking hell.
We're going to
see if I can tell between a used one and a new
We're
sock.
going to have a brand new pair of socks.
No fucking idea.
Brand new pair of socks straight out the packaging compared to the same from the same
So
pack.
you're telling me
laundered ones.
you're going to launder socks and have a new pair and put them on my feet while I cover my eyes?
Yeah, I'm going to dress you. Yeah.
So at the same time, and then I have to guess which foot has the new one?
Well, you're going to wear both.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have you take a few little steps around
This is fucked up.
without looking.
Okay.
And then we're going to see if you can tell which one is which. So thank you, Chris. Fantastic idea.
For those unaware, I don't wear used socks or laundered socks.
Yeah.
I buy new socks. Every day I wear a new pair. Then that's it. They're done.
Keeping things in New York. The New York bacon fight has escalated.
Oh, fuck.
We have a voicemail to enter the show from Yosh.
We have to give context, because what if this is their first episode?
I don't know why you'd come in at episode 19. If this is your first recycle bin, a few weeks ago.
What do you mean every week there should be somebody new? No?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you got to keep up with the lore, though. This is becoming a lore-heavy podcast.
Okay. And it's not so topical, so you can go back.
Yeah, we've had some very outspoken members of the community replying to our thoughts on bacon. We decided bacon, fairly mid as a food. Mm-hmm. It doesn't deserve all the hype it has gotten over the years, and it's pretty okay.
I forgot that we started this.
Yeah, we did. We got a very angry response from a New Yorker. Yeah, his name has been withheld.
Okay.
He just told us, fuck you.
Okay.
Bacon is great. Back and forth. We've had another person say bacon is mid, sausage is better where it's
not
at.
talking to us,
Just
in using
response,
us as a vehicle to talk to this other guy.
And now we have
is
quite an escalation. We won't be hearing the entirety of Yosh's message. It's 2 minutes long.
Which is this the first guy or the second guy? Is this the bacon guy or the sausage guy?
No, Yosh, he's coming in from. It's a third party.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay, we have a third entrant.
Yosh has been a fairly frequent caller.
Welcome to the arena, Yosh.
2 minutes. I'm going to skip around.
2 minutes?
Yeah, we're not listening to the whole
fuck.
thing. So that's why we're just.
That's not code red.
No, special mention to Yosh. We're going to skip around this guy, but here we go. Thank you, Yosh.
Hey guys, it's Yosh. Calling to defend my fucking honor. Because I'm the original New Yorker who was vouching for bacon.
You were?
I'm
sorry, my bad, Yosh.
People in the audience are against me. And I'm just... Whoever doesn't like bacon, the other New Yorker who's like, oh, sausage is where it's at. Bro, shut the fuck up.
Okay, pause. We're going to skip.
We have created.
We're going to skip a little into this guy.
This does not happen on Genius Bar.
I don't know.
By the way, there's no.
Right?
There's no this.
Oh, I know.
This is insane.
It's amazing. We're going to skip ahead a little bit into this message, and you can hear Yosh's anger coming through.
Overall health. Sure, it's not the healthiest, but it's definitely fucking healthier than sausage.
Okay. Skipping ahead again, further into Yosh's message.
You don't need extra seasoning or anything. Crispy bacon beats that saucy...
That's true.
Soggy sausage bullshit.
Okay.
You don't need to season bacon.
Yeah, and skipping further in.
Die on this hill. Bacon is better than sausage.
Going to die on this hill.
And whoever disagrees, fucking find me, bro. Find me and bite me. I don't fucking care.
Thank you, Yosh. My bad. I didn't realize he was the original New Yorker. So there you go. I think that may be
Where's our Post-its?
You want to go to Post-it?
How do you spell his name?
I have been spelling it.
He even gets the big Sharpie.
I have been spelling it with a Y, just so I don't mispronounce it. I'm going to say Y-O-S-H. And if he would like to correct it, feel free to give us a call.
Y-O who?
Y-O-S-H. And then we'll update it retroactively. So thank you, Yosh. I think that may head off the bacon fight.
Okay, so here's the deal, Yosh. And we're not going to explain this any further. And if you miss it, you miss it. Follow the lore. This side are people who ruined the day. Okay?
Vinny
has not been topped yet. I haven't heard all the voicemails. Vinny gets to stay. This is the more positive side. Yosh, you have added to the show. And you have made yourself a player in this game.
Thank you, Yosh.
You have issued the challenge, and whoever would like to respond...
Retort?
I guess use our show to do it.
We're just facilitating at this point. Okay, before we hit up any code red, we're going to just do some normal voicemails.
Okay.
We're going to get away. Okay, here we go. This is one of my favorite ones that I've heard in a while. Here we go, from Dave.
Okay.
Yo, this is Dave from Indy. I love the show. Only problem is, so many of the callers sound like Sam doing voices.
I have no idea what he said.
He said, Dave from Indy.
Yeah.
Big fan of the show. Only problem is, many of the callers sound like Sam doing voices.
That would also be funny. A conspiracy.
Yeah, if it was just Sam Cole calling in.
Sam doesn't have the time for that, but that would if that were eventually revealed on Genius Bar, that's a masterclass.
That reminded me of last week when you asked if it was a conspiracy, if I am doing all the voices. So
if at some point Sam reveals on Genius Bar the voicemails have been him, I would not be mad. I would be incredibly impressed.
I agree.
That would be an incredible reveal because it's not like Genius Bar is not a rival to Recycle Bin, but the audience has some infighting with it for some reason.
Right.
So that would be a masterclass by Sam.
It would. I even floated my own. Before you even mentioned it, I thought about calling in disguise a couple times just to stir the pot. I haven't yet.
I feel like I'd be able to tell.
A promise. No takesies, backsies. Not I may in the future. We'll see. Moving on from that paranoia. Here's a good one. Get a little more friendly.
Hey, Jern and Byrne, it is Sylvan again from California. Hey, I'm listening to episode 18. I'm about 17 minutes in, and I'm hearing that I need to call in to get Mario Kart content. And I've asked for Mario Kart content on this podcast before, and I'm insulted that I even have to call in to ask for Mario Kart content again.
Yeah.
Anyway, just kidding. Anyway, give me the Mario Kart content, and love you guys. Bye.
Thanks, Sylvan.
Love you, Sylvan.
Very topical because you've been going through a bit of a problem with Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about? Oh no! Oh no! What color is Sylvan getting? You want to help you spell his name? Burn? Hang on a second. What a plot twist! He has written "burn" on a post-it. I'm on the bad side. What happened?
He didn't do anything wrong. He just asked us to talk about Mario Kart. You know what you're going to make me talk about. You know what you're making me say.
You brought it up last week.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't.
You did. You meant you were going to talk about how I've punched myself in the face or something about Mario Kart or anger issue.
No, I said when you're upset you punch yourself, and then you brought up Mario Kart.
I did.
So your name goes there.
Okay, go ahead and expand. For more lore, here we go.
I got into Mario Kart months ago. Like really heavily got a Nintendo Switch OLED. Mario Kart has consumed me multiple times. At first, it was very frustrating because I was very bad, and it was one of those things where I was not getting better, and I, as an adult, committed time to getting better at this game.
You were like looking up guides online, looking up tutorials.
I spent time learning all of the tracks, courses.
You were like you were going into each course and track, whatever, and like practicing it solo.
Yes.
Just playing like each one repetition over and over.
Yes, I did the work.
Yeah.
I got like maybe above mediocre.
You were winning regularly. You're beating me. You got into time trials for a few different courses.
Yeah. But what happens sometimes is that depending on the day, I may start really strong and then just bury myself the rest of the day, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And every race I go, maybe this is the one where I get better, but it doesn't. And then I do that to myself 16 times. I've also been known to needing to warm up. So my first few races, I'll fucking
dumpster.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
and then I get better lately. I guess before I say that, there's a certain energy that comes about when I'm not winning.
Certain energy. That's a unique way to put that.
And it's worse because of the mechanics of the game. Because
it shits down your throat.
It does.
Whenever it wants to kill you.
If you're in the middle of the race, or even if you're in first, there are so many ways. Now, I love Grand Prix. They're my favorite as opposed to like time trials or anything.
Yeah.
I love the chaos.
Yeah.
When I've been away from it.
Yeah.
When you're in it and you're just getting fisted, it's terrible. It makes you so mad. And what makes it worse is that if this was like Call of Duty, if everything looked like Call of Duty, I wouldn't get as mad. But the fact that it's like little fucking cartoon characters and there's stupid sound effects and it's terrible. I get so angry, and I have broken some things over time. I have gone through a couple controllers.
Yeah.
It got to a point where even you purchased a cheaper controller from Amazon that was the Mario Kart controller.
Yeah.
And sometimes, some days, it's so frustrating that either the controller gets thrown or gets smashed on something. I'm pretty notorious for the throwing, not the smashing.
The GameCube controller was the most recent.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about your controller?
Oh yeah, I shattered a cheap Amazon controller.
Yeah,
and that was part of that was like to do it, but also I was mad that day.
Yeah. If the response is over a 5, it's something else.
Yeah, it was something else that day.
By the way, good saying for life that I just learned, and it's the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Over some times, in some occasions, I have, when the race ends, or actually sometimes it's during the race, I will just rage quit mid-race by throwing my controller and walking away.
Yeah.
There was a time where I just unplugged the Nintendo Switch and threw it in the grass. I went outside and threw it in the grass, and you went and got it.
I don't remember that.
What? I walked up, took it off the thing, off the dock, walked out the front door, threw it in the grass.
Man, I don't know why I forgot that.
I did do that.
Good job.
We bought GameCube GameCube controllers because what?
Oh, the certain features within Mario Kart, angles based on the gait of the controller joystick, fucking drift angles and stuff. It's technical and nerdy.
There's a Mario Kart YouTuber, Shortcat, who just swears by it. So we just trust it.
Pretty cool.
It does work as he said it does. But
it's never met a Jern.
It's not made for somebody like me. And at some point, I threw the controller.
You whipped it. You used the cord to slam it around.
Yeah. Anyway, it became open.
It is opened.
It doesn't work anymore.
Controllers don't normally like to be opened.
Yeah. It has opened itself. Now I do have a Pro controller that if a trucker. If I've run out of controllers, that's the one I'll use.
Yeah.
And you would think, oh, that's the expensive one. He doesn't throw that one.
Throwing it the most.
I cannot control myself. I get so angry. The rage that is inside. I'm not a violent person.
No, not at all.
There's something about this game that I could murder somebody. Like if fucking Toad was behind me in real life, dead. Absolutely dead. Donkey Kong, on fire. I will light him on fire. I will kill that man.
He's a monkey.
I will kill that monkey man.
An ape.
I will kill the monkey ape man. I've thrown my Pro controller so many times, and it's such a trooper. It's got some marks on it, some scuffs, but it always works. Until more recently, I have had a terrible 2 weeks with Mario Kart.
I think it's the controller's
I have
fault
not been winning.
Yeah.
I have not been winning, and I did something where I threw it, and at one point it hit the marble near my fireplace, bounced up, hit a glass door, and the left stick is a little mushy.
Yeah.
And perhaps not as accurate as it once was.
Uh-huh.
And so I can't do things, if you're a Mario Kart player, like soft drift. So all of my turns are wider than they should be, and I can't win a single race. And I'm hurting. And for a while, I didn't know it was the controller. For a while, you second guess yourself.
Yeah.
You are being defeated by yourself internally.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not even the controller. Maybe I'm just trying to put the blame somewhere else. I don't know, but I've been having a real bad time. And I know everyone should be like, just don't do that. Calm down. That's way easier said than done. I am too old to change my ways.
You know what it is? You care. That's what it is.
I care.
You love this game. And just...
I hit you because I care.
That's terrible.
That's what violent people say.
In the camp of it's not you, you were at my house playing Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah. With
and you used my wife's controller. You did great. You actually won that series of races.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there you go. And that was a cheap controller. It has not been thrown.
Yeah.
Most recently, you did throw an 80% full can of Sprite and open.
Oh, I did do that.
And it emptied a lot of it into your air vent.
At some point, something happened, and I just sat there in silence.
You took a sip
of the Sprite and just spiked it on the ground.
That wasn't, just to give viewers and listeners a bit of comfort, John is not violent.
I'm very,
very calm, very collected. But and it's sort of, if you were on your own and you weren't with me and we weren't hanging out and being friends and trying to make each other laugh, that all gets turned down a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you weren't having fun with Mario Kart, you just go, fuck this game, turn it off and give up, But we're together and we're constantly one-upping each other regularly in our friendship that has turned into a standoff with condiments or about to throw food at each other or something insane just because it's funny. So just to ease it, he's okay.
Oh, you think I'm doing it because I think it's funny?
On a level.
Okay.
On a level, it's insane.
The Sprite thing is funny.
See? There you
go.
But
I didn't know that at the time. I didn't go, this is the funniest thing I could do right now. I just felt it. It was the closest thing in my vicinity.
Thank you, Sylvan, for asking about Mario Kart.
Thank you, Sylvan. I hope you're happy with the answer you got.
Okay.
What?
Well, there's two more voicemails that are a bit antagonistic. And I don't want to get on your bad... I'm already on the bad side of the TV.
What? Why would? Are they you?
No.
Okay.
You sure?
Go ahead.
All right.
Because if you don't play it after saying that, the audience is going to be upset. So for the content, we must play it now.
You know what? Yeah, that's fair. Here we go.
Hey, Bern. Hey, White Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's Kieran from Colorado. And
Hey, Kieran.
I just want to say, John, the shoes I get, I slip my shoes on, tie them once, maybe when they get, like, loose, I'll retie them. But yeah, you slip them on, that's fine. Everything else is fucking psychotic. Dude, shovel your driveway. Come on, man.
I don't have to! It is melted! Just as I said it would. Just as the prophecy foretold.
It did rain, and it has melted pretty much 90% of everything.
But what? I find it rather convenient that if your opinion aligns with mine, it's normal, but if you disagree, I'm psychotic. That's a bit extreme, don't you think? You could just disagree and go, wow, that's kind of quirky, kind of weird, but he didn't say that. He said psychotic.
That's true.
That it could have just as easily been reversed, where he's like, I don't shovel my driveway, I wear new socks, but you're psychotic for not tying your shoes. You have no business to stand on.
Yeah? If you get it all out of your system?
What was his name?
Kieran.
Kieran.
From Colorado.
Thank you for calling in from Colorado.
You didn't make the TV. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Okay. Let's hear from Clayton.
Bern, delete my first voicemail. And Clayton from Edmonton calling.
Oh, yeah. Clayton from Canada. He's frozen. He did try. He tried again.
Okay.
He had some issues the first time around.
I just wanted to say I actually kind of side with Vern on the space thing. My groceries are too high. My taxes are too high. Crime is too high. Everything about life is a little bit too difficult to care about space right now. So I certainly appreciate, John, that you have the ability to put all that aside and think about black holes. As far as I'm concerned, I just want to pay the rent. And that's why I don't care about space. Have a nice day.
Clayton's first go, he was a little bit more aggressive.
Oh.
He was a little more like, I don't give a fuck.
There was a part where I thought about putting him on the TV, but he doesn't deserve to be on the TV. That's too harsh.
Oh, wow.
I get it.
Yeah?
He's wrong, but I get it.
Wow, that's very agreeable of you.
Okay, let me explain the difference, because the only difference between me and you is perspective, I think.
Sure. He's from Canada. That matters.
Yeah, he is from Canada.
Very different.
Because I'm focused on space, and because it fascinates me so much, and because of how much is unknown and how vast and maybe infinite things are, and how quickly things could go terribly, catastrophically wrong, in space, it's just normal space activity that could just demolish every piece of life.
Okay.
And space doesn't give a fuck. It's not going to think about it. That stuff helps me deal with real life.
Because it's so much bigger.
It keeps me calmer. Everything is always okay eventually. With enough time, no matter what in your life right now you think is just the biggest, most crippling problem, eventually you will look back and go, it ended up being fine. It sucked. You'll never be like, wow, glad that happened. But eventually everything is always fine.
Yeah.
Why? Time, space, things will evolve further. Your life will move on. You will be okay always. Why? Because things are bigger than you and your problems, and it's all going to keep going.
Okay, that's reasonable.
So call back if I changed your mind. If not, don't call back.
Thank you, Clayton. Sorry that all of that, and also,
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not being mean.
No, you're not.
Saying that everyone is living the same life, but this helps me deal with life.
Yeah, no, you're approaching this with a very level-headed, reasonable angle. Very good. I'm proud of you.
I have been a lot calmer since I've been looking into space stuff.
Except for when you're talking about space stuff.
Except when I'm talking about space stuff, because that's the terrifying part.
Okay. Let's get on.
What really gets me worked up about space is that you don't care. Like, if I could talk about it and go, oh yeah, we could get sucked into a black hole, but we won't see it coming because it's a black hole, and then we'll just get swallowed in. And isn't that fascinating? And you went, oh yeah. I'd be like, yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, but you don't do that. You say, why should I care? Why does it matter?
Not every time.
I don't care.
I don't do that every time.
That's the part that hurts.
Well, it doesn't help that you usually bring it up when I'm like watching wrestling or something else, and I go,
Okay.
and I'm like watching a dialogue exchange, and you're like, Burn, the black holes could be right there, and I'm just like, yeah.
There's no Roman Reigns if the fucking Earth gets swallowed.
That's I bet he probably thinks about that too.
Probably.
Hey, Burn and Jern, this is Danny again, Amigo from Mexico.
Hey,
So
Dan.
John is that literally crazy? I mean, he is, but not like in a big sense just because of him not tying his shoes. I don't tie my shoes every time I put my shoes on. I tie my shoes loose enough so that when I take them off, I don't have to untie them, and when I put them back on, I don't have to retie them.
That's a good mentality.
I do reuse my socks, though. That's not.
Thank you, Danny.
That's normal. That's way too normal.
Yeah.
John, there's an issue with you there. Yeah. No more leaks, please. Just more FPT dots.
No
Please.
more leaks.
Give me another one. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Daddy.
You know what? What's his name?
Danny.
Dan or Danny?
Danny
From Mexico?
from Mexico.
Danny, do me a favor. I want you to call back in.
Oh no! Yo, hang on. This is scary because you just said to.
He has an invitation, personally.
You just said to Clayton, "Don't call back in unless I've changed your mind."
Yeah.
Now you're just okay. What are you gonna?
This is
I'm scared.
I've reached my threshold.
That was it. There
Yeah.
was like 2.
That was enough. I was calm for the first one, and I got past it.
Okay, Danny. This is for you.
Clayton did call me psychotic. Here's the thing,
Well,
fellas.
actually, I think. Sorry, Kieran also called you psychotic.
Who's Clayton then?
Clayton was the Canadian talking about he doesn't worry about space.
Oh, okay, not him. The other guy. Kieran and Danny. You have an invitation to call in. Here's an unfortunate fact for you. I'm looking at the camera, breaking the fourth wall, you might say.
No.
You see and know more of my life than I will ever know about yours, because I am open and vulnerable on a public forum.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to call in, use this public forum to tell me all of your weird quirks. And if there's even one that I think is weird, name on the TV, you're psychotic. It's only fair. If I am being vulnerable and telling you what I do, how I live my life, and you think it's psychotic because you disagree, I would love to hear what your daily routine is. Do you go to work? I think you're psychotic. You work 9 to 5? Psychotic. That's what I think.
Yeah. I'm going to extend the invitation to the audience at large, because now I have this is a fun idea. Since I don't know if I've mentioned too many of my own quirks, but you've been very open with yours.
Yeah.
If I think of one, I'll be sure to bring it up. I promise.
Okay.
Audience, give me your quirks.
Your weirdest quirk.
I make a promise to you. Next episode, if we have enough, I would like to have the top 3 weirdest quirks from the Recycle Bin audience.
Okay, I like that.
And then we'll also, if Danny or Kieran calls in, make sure they get a spot as well, honorable mentions, so that John can tear them apart or whatever he's planning on doing to you.
There was no point of me that thinks that wearing only new socks is normal. Like, you didn't need to tell me that's a quirk.
It's weird. Is that what you're saying?
But I know it's right.
You're fighting
I
for
just
justice.
have a strong opinion that is correct.
This
the
is-
most correct one.
This is your Batman moment.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That tracks?
Yep.
Okay. We got to talk about Code Red.
Okay.
Listen, this is about to get weird.
Okay.
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 And it's not going to get weird in the way you think.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. We're gonna just preface.
Yeah, I'm gonna preface.
Okay.
Code Red gave the floor to Flat Earth believers to call in. Unlimited time to them to convince you of this fact. We received a handful of voicemails from the same person. One. And none of them were about Flat Earth.
What? What would it possibly be about for that long?
Well, they were about Code Bread. About how the earth is actually made of bread.
I hate this person.
So,
what is that what we're gonna play?
A little taste, because there's.
Is there a real Code Red?
There isn't. I know, and I'm gonna take this in a positive light. I don't think we have any. If we have any flat earthers in the audience, they are not showing themselves.
Okay,
but I'm taking
because they know they're wrong.
I'm taking it positively, as we have many logical, level-headed folks in our audience.
Okay,
none of which believe the Earth is flat.
If you do, the offer still stands. I need this.
Yeah.
If you truly think the Earth is flat, and you think you have the logic and the reasonings,
the power
to convince me, I want you to try. You don't have to say your name.
Yeah.
You can be anonymous, especially to the audience. I just want someone who truly believes, don't fuck with me, who truly believes that the Earth is flat, to not tell me why you think it's flat, tell me why I should think and know that it's flat compared to what I think I know about space.
This, like I said, this is a positive to me. I'm very proud of you guys.
Somebody's out there.
Well, we do have some weird people, clearly.
Somebody's out there.
Let's hear from Chief.
Okay.
Code Bread. Code Bread. This is a Code Bread. The Earth is not flat. The Earth is bread. You don't need to know my name. You can call me Chief, and I live in Alaska. And Alaska has told me that the world is bread. They say the sea levels are rising. What else rises? Bread.
Okay, so there's
So the whole world is my worst nightmare.
There's like
it's wet bread.
There's like 5 more in there from Chief.
What? What do you mean?
There was a few. I'm not gonna. We can't platform this man. Clearly, he's a danger. He knows something we don't. Talking about how the Earth's crust, pizza, bread.
Oh, Christ!
There's the core is doughy and malleable.
He's had vitamins, I think.
Yeah. So we don't have any flat earthers, but we do got Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Thank you for filling the empty spot of Code Red.
Much like a nice amount of bread would do. Mm-hmm. You make you feel full. Sorry, I hope that's not underwhelming.
When I looked, because I don't look at the voicemails, but sometimes I just want to see the number.
You give a glance.
And in one of my glances, I saw a duration of 3 minutes.
There was a few. There was mostly Chief.
Chief talked about Code Bread for 3 minutes?
Multiple occasions.
For 3 minutes?
Yeah. You want to play a taste of them?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I just can't comprehend what you could possibly say for 3 minutes, and I want to keep it that way.
Hey, I mean, you opened the floodgates, and that's what we got.
And you guys really come on here and call me a psychopath.
Like I said, I'm taking it in a positive light.
This man said that the world is made of bread. Funny joke. Code Bread. Haha. It's funny in lore. But then he continued the joke for more than 3 minutes, apparently.
A while.
Who tells a 3-minute joke?
He must really believe it, huh? I bet he knows something we don't.
I don't think he does.
Yeah?
I don't think he knows.
So, like I said,
I don't think he lives in Alaska.
Why would he?
I don't think his name is Chief.
Well, it might not be Chief.
I think every part of that was incorrect and wrong.
Chief,
and a lie.
Chief is a title, and it's like a good name for a dog. It's usually not a human's name, in my experience.
Okay.
I'd be a little disappointed if a guy was actually named Chief, but hey, you know what?
There's a TikToker that I watch, that named his kid King.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, we're not going to talk about idiot naming conventions because
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. People being like, "Your name is Ripper." Yeah. So.
Oh my God!
I'm proud of you guys.
This is insane. How long was this episode?
Oh, you want to actually know?
Yeah.
A little over 2 hours, I think.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. Hope you guys had a good time. I had a great time. This might be the first episode with some reasonable timestamps. I think I'm going to timestamp some stuff in the YouTube upload, so look forward to that. Like I said, I'm proud. In a way, the Code Red experiment was a little bit like a litmus test, where we kind of threw out this bait of like, hey, if you're crazy, call us and tell us just how crazy you are.
Yeah.
And we got like one guy. That's not bad.
And he still wasn't the crazy we were looking for.
Yeah. But so I reiterate, if you guys want to give us
a single flat earther, huh?
Yeah, I know. If you guys want to give us your weird quirks, please give us a call. 404-919-5530. Probably going to make it on the show.
Do you think it's because there were flat earthers and I convinced them?
I'm thinking it's either that or maybe we scared them away with all the space talk. Because why would...
Clearly, I'm very friendly to all the callers.
Clearly. You're so welcoming to Vinny, me, and Yosh.
Yosh is in a good spot. That's positive.
You're right.
That's
my bad. I forgot that
you forgot the lore already.
I forgot you made threats to Kieran and Danny.
Yeah, Yosh added to the show.
Yeah.
Yinny and you have both taken away from the show.
You said Yinny. You just said Yinny. What a great way to end this. I feel so validated right now. Oh, that was real. You called him Yinny. Okay. I think we're going to leave you now. Hope you having a good Monday. And by the way, buy a hat. They're going to be gone soon. Anything else you want to leave them with?
I want to go to
FPTstore.com.
No.
FPT.store.com?
No.
Store.fpt.com?
Yep.
That one. Store.fpt.com.
No,
what is it?
It's store.frontpagetech.com. We don't have fpt.com.
Well,
I would love to.
I don't know. You said at some point you said FPT.
I know.
You didn't?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Okay. Also,
just click whatever link is down there. Don't try to type it in.
We have a Patreon. We're going to be updating that with our doc content. fptdocs.com. Maybe that's what happened.
.com.
What? What'd you say?
I don't know. I just repeated .com for some reason.
We gotta go. You're going downhill.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.